If you're still running your business out of one bank account, or maybe you've tried a system like Profit First and feel like something's missing, this video is for you. Now, there are 3 types of bank accounts that I've noticed most systems leave out entirely. However, they have been instrumental in how I make decisions in my business, how I manage my money, and how I stay motivated to reach my goals. And today, I'm going to tell you what those are. Hi everybody, I'm Jamie Trull, your favorite CPA and financial educator, and I am here bringing you all the tools and information you need to stay informed, organized, and profitable in your business finances. So if you want more of that, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, when it comes to banking and the money used to fuel your business, most small business owners end up keeping it all in one giant lump of cash. And obviously that creates all kinds of problems with visibility, knowing how much you can spend, and also you end up oftentimes spending money that you could otherwise pay yourself. Meanwhile, other business owners have put a plan in place, maybe something like Profit First, which is a book by Mike Michalowicz, and essentially walks through how to separate your money into various different buckets and open separate bank accounts for different purposes, and essentially to be putting the money into that account that aligns with the purpose. Now, when I first read Profit First, I was already doing a version of Profit First without even knowing it, which might be true for you too. So, for example, you might be setting aside money, let's say, for something like taxes, especially if you're self-employed and are going to have to pay that tax bill by the end of the year, then that is a common account that businesses often keep separate. Now, Profit First went a step further with this and essentially advocated for opening multiple different bank accounts with varying different purposes that you would use for that set purpose. So now, typically, just as a recap, if you're familiar or not with Profit First, essentially Profit First recommends that you have 5 bank account types to start with. So the first one is going to be for income. That's where your money is going to come in. And then it's going to get split out into the other 4 buckets. And those 4 buckets are profit, owner's pay, tax, and operating expenses. And obviously operating expenses is kind of then what you have to be able to spend in your business. Now, the goal of Profit First is to essentially flip the equation, right? Instead of just paying yourself whatever's left over, you're actually spending whatever's left over after you've allocated money to pay yourself and your owner's draws and to pay your taxes. Now, personally, I love the general concept of that. I think it helps to prioritize how we pay ourselves and to make sure that all the money that we make in our business doesn't end up accidentally getting spent in our business, leaving us with nothing left over to pay ourselves. But I've found we can take this and actually take it up a notch. So I'm going to tell you about 3 different accounts that Profit First doesn't talk about that have been literal game changers for my business, and I think they will for yours as well. And if the idea of opening a bunch of different bank accounts and managing that sounds overwhelming, don't worry. I have a tool that is going to help you make this super duper easy and painless, and I'm going to show you that at the end. So what are these extra accounts that I use? Well, first of all, I teach a methodology called profit planning, and that's profit with 2 F's. And each one of those letters stands for a different fund I recommend that you have in your business. And some of those are pretty similar to the funds that Mike Michalowicz in Profit First recommends. So for example, I also have a pay yourself fund. That's really important. That's the P in my equation. And of course, I also have a taxes fund because that is also super important and something we can't get around. But I like to take it a little bit of a step farther. And the reason that I like to do that is because I'm trying to align what I'm doing in my business and how I'm spending and saving money in my business to my long-term goals and dreams. So I'm really thinking about what do I want, and I'm also trying to customize it. So if you're interested in learning about profit planning, definitely make sure to download my free profit plan template at jamietrull.com/profit. Again, that's profit with 2 F's. And that's where you can actually see exactly how to use these accounts in real time, and you can plug and play with your own numbers to see what impact that would have. Now, in addition to the fact that my profit planning has a few additional accounts that I use that I find really helpful, the other difference between profit planning and Profit First is that profit planning is really made to be flexible based on your unique needs, dreams, and desires. So what that means is I'm not going to tell you specifically what percentage you should put in each of these buckets. That's going to be up to you, and it's designed to be flexible. So if certain seasons you need to be taking more out in paycheck than maybe previously, or other seasons you're looking to reinvest more into your business, you can actually customize that to your specific needs. And I think that helps to give a little bit of freedom away from the what should I be doing, more to think about what is best for me, what is best for my business, and then what is best for my life. And allowing a little bit of flexibility with that, I think, is really critical. And that's going to show up here when I talk about these 3 accounts you need to have. So whether you're using Profit First or you want to use my methodology, I still recommend having these 3 buckets as something you are saving for. So the very first one is what I call the Opportunity Fund. That is my O in profit planning. And the Opportunity Fund is really all about reinvesting back into your business. And we're not talking about just like on the day-to-day things, right? So of course, in Profit First, you've got your operating expenses account. However, we're talking about the things that are going to intentionally grow your business and might be a little bit more expensive than your day-to-day normal expenses. So what we want to do is put a portion of the profit that we earn into this opportunity fund. And as that opportunity fund grows, it means that we have more opportunities to say yes to things that come our way that we want to reinvest in. So that could be a new educational program that you really want to take, or a new certification that you want to get, or maybe even the first couple of months of hiring a new employee, right? A new employee is going to probably cost more in the beginning. And then as they start to kind of get their feet under them, you see more of the return on that investment. But I like to have the first 1 to 3 months of a new employee's paycheck already saved for in my opportunity fund before I even hire them, to take some of the concern off. And the opportunity fund is also one of my favorite funds because it helps answer the question of, can I afford this, right? If there's something out of the norm of normal business operations, you can look in your opportunity fund and see how much is there. And that allows you to not go into debt or accidentally create cash flow crunches in the future because you pulled from expenses in your operating expense account that you actually need for something else. So it allows you over months to be really intentional about putting money aside for things that will grow your business. Could even be advertising campaigns. There's so many different things you can do with an opportunity fund. And I also think this is great for those of you who maybe struggle to spend money because you are worried about cash flow and making sure you have enough to pay your bills. Having money put aside in an opportunity fund gives you the permission to go spend it, right? To go find something you believe will have an investment and go spend that money in order to get that return on investment. And then once you do, that means more money to put back into your opportunity fund and continue to grow your business. So this is really about intentional growth opportunities. And that's why I think it's so important that everyone is intentionally putting money into an opportunity fund so that you can take advantage of those opportunities when they come your way. Now, the second account that I love is actually the second F in profit. The first F in profit is future, and it relates more to things like paying down debt or saving for retirement, etc. But the second F is the one that I love because it is about fun. I know, how can we be talking about fun? Isn't this about business and money management? And where in the world does fun come into it? But honestly, having this fund has absolutely directly been responsible for some of the growth of my business. Why? Because when you are prioritizing fun and you know that of every dollar you make, a certain amount is going to go to something fun, maybe planning a trip, remodeling a house, something really cool that you want to do that's going to take some time to save up for, right? All of a sudden, you are more motivated to do the thing. You're more motivated to be paying attention to your finances. You're more motivated to come up with that brand new idea that's just going to kill it, right? You're more motivated to collect on your outstanding invoices. You're just more motivated. And all of the sudden, you also get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. How often, as small business owners, do we work and work and work and work? And our reward for working so hard is more work, right? We need to actually find a way to reward ourselves. Small business owners get burnt out more than any other profession. I may have made that up, but I'm pretty sure it's true. But I hear about it all the time from small business owners who eventually give up because it's exhausting and often thankless. And we're dealing with difficult customers sometimes, or, cash flow issues, or employees that, decide to leave. Whatever it is, there's all types of issues we run into as small business owners. We have got to stay motivated. And mission is really important towards that. But so are some quick wins. Mission is a little bit too big sometimes to really put all of your motivation behind. It's also nice to have something a little bit more tangible to look forward to. Now, I've told this story before, but this was also a great way to get my husband really excited about my business when I first started it. That's really why I designed the Fun Fund to begin with, because when I did my very first launch, I told him that 5% of the money that I made from the launch was going to go towards the hot tub fund. Y'all, my husband has wanted a hot tub for as long as I have known him, and I have been the fiscally responsible person who has told him no every chance I could. And so the hot tub fund was born. And I will tell you, my husband was more supportive during that time period than I had ever seen him be before that. He was picking the kids up. He was running to the grocery store. Mind you, he still does a lot of that now. However, it was really great to get that buy-in and that excitement from him too. So again, you can use the Fun Fund to make it fun for you, but also to, help encourage and get your cheering squad excited too. And the third fund I think everybody should have, in addition to your typical ones that we've talked about, is an impact fund. This is really important because this is where you can see how your money is helping others, right? Of course, the work that we do, we can help others. We can make a difference, but so can the money that we earn, especially as a small business. There is so much opportunity to help the world at large, whether that's giving to a nonprofit or giving scholarships or whatever it is that you want to do that you're passionate about and that really connects with you. That's what the Impact Fund is for. So if you want to be a mission forward business, if you want to be a business that truly gives back, oftentimes it's great to put your money where your mouth is, right? If you want to donate 5%, 10% of all your proceeds, then this is the way to do it. Put that money aside as soon as it comes in, and it makes it a lot easier to let go of it because you never really considered it yours to begin with. Now, my business is structured such that 10% of the money that we make in the business, the profit, goes towards the Impact Fund. And we will look for opportunities to support charitable organizations that are already doing great things out there. And oftentimes it gives us the opportunity to really respond if something is happening out there, right? If someone needs our help, if there is a disaster, or we can just be giving regularly to the causes that we really care about. But I love having the Impact Fund because it allows me to be able to be generous, right? If that's something that is of value to you, again, we really show what our values actually are when we look at our money. Where our money is going is actually showing what our values truly are. And so if you value giving back, making the world better, all of those things, having an impact fund where you are automatically setting aside, even if it's just 1%, that's an easy place to start, right? That's less than your credit card fees are. To take 1% of your profits and to give that to a cause you care about. I will tell you, if we all as small business owners did this, it would go such a long way. And the great thing about doing it as a percentage like this is that you no longer have to say, well, I'll give when I can. I'll give, when we have enough, right? At a certain point, you think like, okay, now we have enough that we can give. You're never going to feel like that, right? That's what I've noticed over the years is that we never get to the point where we're like, oh, now I have plenty of money that I feel like I can give. Maybe you do, but a lot of times we never feel like we quite have enough. But again, if we're taking it out before we even see it, if we're taking that 1%, 2% out, practice with that, it gets so much easier. You don't even know it's gone and you never regret it. I've never regretted a dollar that I've given away. I've regretted a lot of things I've spent money on, but I have never regretted a dollar I've given away to a cause that I cared about. And so I always remember that when I'm making these types of decisions on being intentional with the money my business makes. And you might get that feeling that like, well, what good is my money going to do? Like, how far can it really go? But when we think about the fact that we're part of a collective, right? If we look at all small business owners that are making under $1 million in the US right now, there's over 30 million of them. If they all gave just 1% of the amount of money they made in their business to charitable causes, it would add up to over $30 billion in money donated to nonprofits. That is more than all the corporations in the United States donate in a year. There is so much power in small business, and we can use our money to be able to create the society that we want to live in, the reality that we want to live in. We don't have to just sit back and do nothing. There are things that we can do. And again, collectively, there's so much that we can do, but it starts with each of us individually. Now, I don't mean to get preachy. Sorry about that, but this is something I feel really strongly about, and I really think that small business owners have a huge opportunity to change the world, to change this country, and to make a really big difference for the people who need it. So just to recap, those additional funds were the Opportunity Fund to reinvest back into your business intentionally, the Fun Fund to have a little bit of fun with and to help motivate you, and the Impact Fund to intentionally use our money to make the world around us better. Now, again, though, if you're wondering, how in the world am I supposed to track all of this? I can tell you. So I use Relay, and Relay is a banking platform where you can actually open up all of these separate accounts with just the click of a button. And they are truly separate accounts with separate account numbers and routing numbers. And you can use this to do automations as well. I actually have an automation where everything over a certain amount that goes into my operating account just automatically gets split into all of my other accounts based on the percentages that I set. And those percentages that I set are based on me and my goals and my dreams and what I want to accomplish in my business and my life. So I can set it and forget it and not worry about it. And it's all happening behind the scenes. And it helps to make sure that I'm also never surprised come tax time, and I can always pay myself. And if you're interested in giving Relay a try, I do have a partner link. So make sure to go try that out. You do get a $50 bonus once you set up your account and fund it. So go to jamietrull.com/relay to find out more and to sign up. Thanks for joining me, and if you liked this content, you will love what's in my new book. So I have a new book called Hidden Profit. It's my very first book that is going to be published by Simon Acumen of Simon & Schuster in October, but you can pre-order it now, and I appreciate you so much. It helps authors tremendously when you pre-order their books. So go pre-order and show me some love, and I will greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.